moments. In the meantime, a young voter called out Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton at last night's town hall in Iowa.
It feels like there's a lot of young people like myself who are very passionate supporters of Bernie Sanders, and I just don't see the same enthusiasm from younger people for you. In fact, I've heard from quite a few people my age that they think you're dishonest, but I'd like to hear from you on why you feel the enthusiasm isn't there.
Well, I think it really depends upon who you're seeing and talking to.
My Power Political panel is here. Julian Miller from the National Review, Fox News contributor, Tamara Holder. First and foremost, Jillian, what was your take on that? Has Hillary lost millennial votes and other votes because she is not seen as being trustworthy?
Absolutely. I live in New York City. I am a millennial, and every Democrat millennial I talk to doesn't think she's an ideal choice. In fact, they're disappointed. I think they're very much coming off of the Obama momentum, and they see her as somebody that's got a questionable past. What I think is so interesting is if you look into how she answered that question further down the line, it was extremely condescending. She was basically saying that, you know, if you had more political experience, if you weren't born so, short time ago, you'd know this is just politics. It's not politics as usual. These are serious concerns, and she owes millennials an answer.
Tamara, it's millennials, it's everybody, right? A candidate's credibility is key to his or her success. Do you think that this is why Senator Sanders has such a strong following?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, one of the things with Hillary Clinton that we don't understand, and let me just be clear when I say this, I'm not defending her, but I think she has a sociopathic mentality where she doesn't really understand.
That doesn't sound like defense. Don't worry,
no,
Tamara.
But I'm not defending her by saying that she doesn't understand. It's this mentality that I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you guys think that I'm so untrustworthy. But to your point, Deidre, yes, I think that it's not just millennials. It's not just people who are voting for the first time who don't know about Obama's hopey changey thing, and it's grown-ups and old people like myself who don't see Hillary as trustworthy. However, the question is she trustworthy enough to run the country? And the polls say that yes, she is. We may not trust her, but we trust her enough to run the country more than any other candidate.
I hear what you're saying. Even her supporters are concerned about her credibility, but as Secretary of State, she arguably has, at least for the Democratic side, the most relevant experience, especially in our world today. I want to ask you about something that Lena Dunham said. She's backtracking. We're just going to play a quick clip here. I'm going to ask you both to respond.
Hillary Clinton's been talked about in the media is so gendered and rabidly sexist in every single portrayal. The adjectives, whether it's the attacks on her personal life or the adjectives that are used to describe her clothing, we have to do a full re-examination. Like, I literally want to make a list that we hand to media outlets that says, like, these are the words you can't use when describing a female candidate. Shrill, inaccessible, difficult, frumpy, plastic. I mean, there's just a list of words that if we were allowed to talk about male candidates like that, I'd have a field day.
So, Jillian, Lena Dunham comes from a different world, right? She is a writer. She's an actor. What do you think about this comment on language? Have other candidates faced it? And, of course, I'm thinking of Carly Fiorina because she's the only other female in this race right now.
Well, first of all, it's kind of shocking anytime you hear a writer calling to ban words for censorship in any form. So that's inexcusable. Second, I find that very funny coming from Lena Dunham, who, if she wants to change the culture of media, if she wants to change the way that women are portrayed, maybe don't just write characters that are completely inane and selfish and vacuous. I think girls would be a better show if we were just guys.
She's also backtracking, right, Tamara? I mean, in the past, Lena Dunham apparently said at a private cocktail party or dinner party on the Upper East Side that she was disappointed that Hillary Clinton never really addressed some of the women who had come forward and said that they had inappropriate and unwelcome contact with her husband.
I know, what a shame. She was on the Upper East Side at probably some really fancy apartment. I think that she's super out of touch. That's the only way to put her. She gives liberals a bad name. There was an article that Jerry Seinfeld had recently written about how comics don't like to go to colleges and universities because students just, they take everything so seriously, and that's what this is. To Jillian's point, she's a writer, but she wants to ban words. It makes no sense whatsoever. And let me just say something. At the expense of sounding sexist, I don't think that anybody's called Hillary Clinton plastic. Maybe, you know, Pamela Anderson, but I definitely don't see her as that.
All right. Tamara Holder, Julian Miller, thank you so much.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you both